Hi guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to make this ruffle sleeve by Stitches by Icy. My name is Deratailor and welcome to my channel. So I do have here a piece of fabric and I'm just going to be measuring for you guys to see. So this fabric, I'm going to use it to create an inner band for it. So currently this fabric is on fold, as you guys can see. So it's on fold, let's not forget that. I'm just going to measure the length of it. So you just measure your sleeve length, your total sleeve length, because this is an off shoulder. So you just measure your sleeve length. Then after measuring your sleeve length, you measure how wide you want the band to be. So how wide you wanted it to be, I wanted mine to be 1.5 inches wide. So 1.5 plus 1.5, because I'm going to be folding it, is going to give me 3 inches. So I just went ahead to mark my 3 inches after imputing my desired length of the sleeve. So I hope you understand that. So it is 3 inches wide. When I fold it, it's going to give me 1.5 inches. So I hope you get that. So after trimming it, I just open this up and then I'm just going to fold it. So as you guys can see, when I fold it, it was going to give me 1.5 inch, and I'm just going to use my thread to run along it. And this is what it was looking like after I was done using my sewing machine to run along it. You could see what we did, and I'm just going to use my safety pin over here to turn it over so that I can have a neat finishing. So just watch the way I turn it over. I believe everyone can do this. It's really easy. So you could see that it actually gave me a neat finishing after I turned it over. So I'm just going to go ahead to iron it. So this is what it was looking like after I was done ironing. So I asked that you please do iron your own if you are going to recreate this. So I realized that the length of my sleeve was way too long, right? Like nobody's sleeve is 22 inches, so I just reduced it, and this is just for illustration's sake, right? So I just reduced it to 10 inches. If I'm not mistaken, I reduced it to 10 inches. So let's just assume that your whole sleeve is 10 inches. So just for illustration's sake, I brought my armless singlet over here. So just imagine it's a corset or a princess bustier. This is just the way that you are going to attach it, right? This is just the way you attach it to the sleeve. So this is the band, and this is the way you attach it to your blouse or your gown. Over to making our ruche. So this is what it is over here. This is another fabric of it. Remember, we already made our band. So currently this is the band we made. So we're just going to measure the length of it again, and I measured the length. It was giving me 10.5. So let's just assume it's 10 inches. So you are just going to times it by 3. 10 times 3 is 30. So that is the length that is going to be for this one. For the ruche, is going to be 30. If you want it to be fuller than that, you make it 40. You times it by 4. So it depends on how full you want your ruche sleeve to be. So mine 30 was okay for me because I times it by 3. So currently this is on fold. As you can see, it's on fold. So 30 divided by 2 is 15, but I made it 16 for allowance sake. So I just indicated it using my chalk to make lines for that. So after doing that, what I'm just going to do is to measure my width of my ruche, right? I measured how wide I wanted it to be. So I wanted it to be 4 inches wide. Yes, I wanted it to be 4 inches wide. So yours can be 5 inches, so it's just optional. So I wanted mine to be 4 inches, and I just went ahead to make lines across that, just indicating my 4 inches at that point. So I'm just going to make my lines and stop at my desired length, which was 15 inches. I went ahead to cut down the area of my desired length, and then I'm just going to, from the point of where my 4 inches is, I'm going to double it up. Just watch what I'm doing, it's not hard. And then after I doubled it up, I'm just going to go ahead to cut out my excesses. So these parts that I'm cutting out are my excesses. I don't need those parts. I then went ahead to open it up. So guys, at this point we are just going to be repeating the same process we did in making a band. But then what is about this is that do not use a material that is light when you are trying to achieve your ruch. If not, it's not going to stand. Just as the illustration picture showed, it's not going to stand. So it's either you put a hairstay for this. So I advise you putting a hairstay for this, right? But this was just illustration, so I did not put a hairstay. So if you are using an Ankara for this, use hairstay. But then if you are using material like scuba material that has foam and they are very thick, you don't need to use a hairstay for it. So I'm just going to go ahead to run my thread along this, right? And after running my thread along it, just as we did for the inner band, this is what it's looking like. And then I'm just going to go ahead to turn it over. So just watch what I'm doing. You guys can see I'm currently done turning it over, but then for this part, please do not iron it. Do not iron it. But if you're putting a hairstay, before you join it together, you iron it for hairstay. But after you are done putting a hairstay, or if you don't put a hairstay, do not iron it, because we are trying to make it as puffy as possible. So do not iron it. When you iron it, it relaxes. So the area where I joined, you could see this area, I tried to put it at the middle point. I did not want it to be at the edge point, right? I did not want it to be at the edge. So you could see what I did. You could see how this part was, and the area where I joined, I made it to be at the middle area. So this is just what it is. So this is my inner band that we created. So I'm just going to insert it. First of all, I put my safety pin on it, and then I'm just going to be inserting it inside the bigger band. So I'm just inserting it like this. You could see where I'm channeling it into. So this is just what I'm doing over here. So you guys can see when I'm almost through with putting all my inner band inside, I'm just going to stop at this point. You can see what I did. I made sure the edge was at the middle point, and then I just went ahead to take my excesses backward, and I took the other excesses also backward. And then what I'm just going to do is that I'm going to make sure that I stitch them. I'm going to double stitch it or triple stitch it, just to make sure that it stays well. Sorry. So I'm just going to make sure that I stitch it properly. So I'm done stitching it. You could see where I stitched, so I'm done stitching it. So what I'm just going to do is that using my fingers, I'm just going to find where my safety pin is, and then I'm just going to pull the inner band to the end of the ruch. So I'm just going to use it to pull it. So just watch what I'm doing. You guys, I just want to say you guys are so amazing. Thank you so much for 800 subscribers. So guys, please get me to 1000 subscribers. So if you've not yet subscribed, please do so by liking and subscribing to my channels. You would gain a lot. There is so much to benefit on this channel. Thank you. So guys, currently I pulled it out. You could see what I did. So I made sure the edge of it, that is this edge, was placed at the middle of the band. You could see what I did. And then I now made this other one to sit properly. I then turned the excesses both ways at the back, and I'm just going to go ahead to stitch it. So this is what it is looking like after stitching it, guys. So this is what it's looking like. So just to make sure that it is secured as possible, I don't want it to be shifting to various positions. I decided to use my needle and thread to tack it at the back of it. So you could see where I'm tacking it. Just watch the position that I'm tacking it. And just like I said, the reason why I'm tacking it is because I wanted it to be, the ruffles to be in a fixed position. So that was why I was doing what I'm doing now. Well, I'm currently done tacking it, and this is what it is looking like. You could see what I'm doing. It is currently in a fixed position, so I also suggest this for you. You should follow this procedure. So this is what I'm doing now. I'm just tacking it on my illustration. That's using my singlet as a pattern, right? So that's just what I'm doing. So this is what it's looking like. Thank you so much for watching.